Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another episode of my F1 2020 Driver Career Mode. Today, we are here for round number 3 of our custom 16 race calendar for the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. If you guys have missed the previous episode, guys, go check it out. It was at Vietnam, so I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen, along with the full playlist link down below, guys, in the description. But today, we are here at the brand new, or should I say returning, Dutch Grand Prix. You can see on screen, no rain expected this weekend. Also worth noting, in terms of the R&D graph, actually, we've brought a couple of upgrades this weekend, and we're looking not too bad. Alpha did close the gap a little bit to us, or should I say Alfa Romeo, because technically we're both Alphas, but you know what I mean. The red team closing up on us a little bit, but we also brought some upgrades of our own, so we are closing the gap to Renault, who are the next team ahead of us. Also worth noting, we did have a major engine upgrade for the engine power that did fail, which is a shame, so we are going to address that straight away in this episode by purchasing the failed upgrade and getting that in the car, hopefully for not the next race, I believe the one after, so it should be on for the Monaco Grand Prix. But that aside, we now move into practice here at Zandvoort, and it's a track that I love. You know, it's such a great track, it's very unique, so much good flow, banking, elevation change, you know, long fast flowing corners. It has it all. It's a really fun track to drive, and yeah, this car actually seems quite well suited to the track. We had really strong pace in practice, by far the strongest the car has been all season so far, and it was really encouraging seeing that heading into qualifying, so things were looking good.
It looks like you're locked into a battle with this driver. Would you say that they're a thorn in your side?
Well, yes and no. At the moment, I think we're looking a bit higher up the table, if you ask me.
It's the start of the season. How do you think things are going to go for you?
Well, so far they're going great, but you can never really tell too early in F1.
Appreciate your time.
And between myself and Pierre Gasly, after practice, we scored pretty much a combined 700 R&D points, which is great, and the total going up to 900 now. But we now move into qualifying, because, of course, it's going to be the next part of the weekend here. And we're going to jump into Q1, of course, as always. And in this session, I've got to say, the car was brilliant. We only needed one lap to get the job done, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but, you know, the upgrades have worked well, and this track seems to suit the Alpha Tauri really well, because I had a very strong one-lap pace, and also our long runs look really good on Friday as well. So overall, things are looking great. As you can see here now, we're going through the banking. We are going to end our first and only time lap in this session. Let's see what it is to kind of give ourselves a bit of a reference. It's a 1 minute 9.7, and we go P6 just behind Carlos Sainz, and eventually we finish the session in P13. Pierre Gasly got P14, so both cars into Q2, and like I said, we saved a set of tyres because of the fact we only did one run. So really good way to start qualifying. We then move into Q2, and for this one we are going to go for 2 runs because we've got plenty of tyres to do so, and this was my first lap. Of course, in Q1 we did a 1 minute 9.7, so let's see what we do on this first lap here, and do we beat our benchmark across the line? It's a 1 minute 9.4, so we improved by 0.3 on our first lap in Q2 already, but we then got pushed down to P9, so I was on the cusp, so I had to improve, and this was my best lap of the weekend. Is it good enough to get into Q3? Let's find out. Let's go for a full lap of Zandvoort as we try to get a good exit here, and let's see if this lap is good enough to get us into the final part of qualifying, or will we get knocked out in Q2? And there we go, out of the final brake zone. It's now flat out through the banking, opening up the DRS as we run up to the line. And this has been a mega lap, improving by 0.3 of a second. we set a 1 minute 9.1 and we go through in P5, which is insanity. So really, really good Q2 session. And again, just proving the pace. The car is just phenomenal around here. And Sergio Perez up in third to Racing Point. And a bit further down, Pierre Gasly knocked out in P13, which is a bit of a shame. But generally, a really good Q2. Both Mercedes scraping through there in P9 and P10. But with that said, we now move into Q3.
Okay, I know you're eager to get out there, but I'm going to need you to be patient for a few minutes. We're just trying to zero in on an oil leak.
As you can see, not the best start to Q3, but luckily for us, there was still enough time to get 2 runs in. This was my first time lap. It was a little bit scruffy, I can't lie. I've had to clean the laps in my last time. And the reference, of course, from Q2, or 1 minute 9.1, we do a 0.2 in this one. So slightly slower than our Q2 lap. So automatically, I know there's a bit more time to find. So let's run on board for yet another lap of Zandvoort. And this one was my best lap of the weekend. And we're going to see exactly how quick the lap was. Currently P8. Let's see if we can try and be best of the rest.
Just 30 seconds left in the session.
And there we go now through the banking, the final corner here. What a lap this has been. 2.5 tenths up as we've won up to the line. We are going to improve. The question is, where are we going to finish the session? And it's going to be P7. So that is great. Really, really awesome. And what a lap that was. That was absolutely perfect. We managed to get into the 1 minute 8s as well, which is incredible. Only Carlos Sainz managed to out-qualify us. The good news is, though, Alexander Albon is behind us, so we managed to get one of the Red Bulls in qualifying, which is insane. So overall, a great session, lots of positives, and by far the most competitive the car has felt so far in the first 3 races. It's a shame Sainz managed to just edge us out, but still, P7, what a qualifying. But we're now going to move into the race.
It was 35 years ago that the late great Niki Lauda took his 25th and final Grand Prix win here at Zandvoort. He came from 10th on the grid to beat his McLaren teammate Alain Prost by just 0.2 of a second. Well, Zandvoort is a very different circuit today, of course, but still one with an incredible legacy. And we're going to add to that. Welcome along to the 2020 Dutch Grand Prix. Zandvoort circuit, 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout a 2.6-mile lap. Joining us today to oversee all the thrills and spills, it's Anthony Davidson. And great to see you. How are you feeling about the race today, and how are the circuit conditions from what you've seen?
Well, it's looking a bit cold out there, if I'm honest. These tyres have quite a narrow operating window in terms of the temperatures they need to extract the best grip. So with a cold track surface, it's going to be harder to keep those temperatures up, which will lead to lower grip and maybe more mistakes.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Max Verstappen and Sainz, Martinez, Albon, Perez and Lando Norris, Ricciardo, Stroll, Pierre Gasly and Ocon, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Romain Grosjean and Kevin Magnussen, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Okay, so here we go then. It's time for the race here at ZANDVOORT. You can see on screen both of the strategy options. We're looking at a soft to soft to medium, or possibly a soft to the hard compound tile. That's going to be the outside option. Third choice could be soft, medium, soft. So we'll see how that one goes. Either way, let's see. Here we go. The lights are on for the Dutch Grand Prix. Can we get a good start once again? Lights out and away we go, and it's a good start. It looks like off the line, getting past the Red Bull of Verstappen, who's on mediums here. We're going to go around the outside of turn one, use the advantage on the soft tyres to make a good run around the outside. Max Verstappen on the medium, still going side by side. We're going to go around the outside one more time and then pick up the inside line through the banked hairpin and make the move up into P5. And what a start that is, gaining a couple of places off the start. And to be fair, Carlos Sainz dropping out of the top 8, which is great. So it's Verstappen and Albon behind, Leclerc in front on the grass in the Ferrari there, being really aggressive, trying to get past Valtteri Bottas. So at the minute, it looks like myself and Leclerc on soft tyres. You've got both Mercedes and Verstappen on the mediums, and also Sebastian Vettel out front in the Ferrari, also on soft tyres. So a few mixed strategies here in this race, it looks like, in this race. Meanwhile, Verstappen all over the back of me here, trying to look for a way through on those mediums. But for now, it looks like we should be okay to hang on. We are running negative fuel as we're trying to be a bit more aggressive at the start on a lighter tank to try and make the car work a bit better and be a bit more competitive in this first part of the race. And we skip onto lap 3. DRS is now enabled. And unfortunately, we have just dropped out of range of Charles Leclerc. We are 1.1 behind. But we are setting personal bests, and the pace is looking promising early on. We do have some engine wear on the control electronics. We'll address that later on. But for now, things are looking good heading on to lap 4. We then move on to the start of lap 5. Yet another personal best this time. And the gap to Leclerc in front slowly growing, but Verstappen behind, not quite able to find a move just yet. And so far, we're frustrating the Dutchman in his home Grand Prix. Lap 7, another personal best. Bottas and Leclerc have now vanished 2.2 up the road. But we're getting a bit of a gap starting to form now between ourselves, Verstappen and Albon. So at the minute, it's just me and Max. You can see the tyre wear there on the right-hand side. And we're looking okay. The front left is a bit knackered, but, you know, lap 10, this is when we were scheduled to pit originally. But I'm actually going to stay out because I'm going to try and go for the soft-hard strategy. I feel like looking at our pace, we're looking very competitive. And I think a one-stopper would be the better option as Kimi Raikkonen retires from the race here today. And we're now currently P5, yellow flag. There is Kimi on the right-hand side in his Alfa Romeo. And lap 11 then, we're going to see the first of the pit stops. And it's going to be the race leader, Sebastian Vettel, I believe, in the pits, onto a set of the hard compound tyres I'm expecting. And we're going to do the exact same thing, boxing now at the end of this lap. You can see Verstappen still can't find a way past. Leclerc now 4.6 up the road. And here we go then at the end of lap 12. We've managed to prolong our stint. 2 more laps than what was originally expected. And we're going to box for the hard tyres, and we should be okay now to get these to the end. So we're going to push the pit entry to maximise it, just about getting the car slowed down. And here we go then, we're going to look for our pit box, try and have a nice quick service. Hopefully the boys have improved on their stops. Have they improved? That's the question. Not quite. 2.8. Not ideal, but away we go nonetheless as Pierre pits as well. And here we go through the pit exit. Very tricky, very narrow as well, so you've got to try and be a bit cautious here about crossing the white line. We rejoin though in P6, which is incredible. So at best we're looking at, at worst we're looking at P6 in this race, because we've done our stop already. On lap 14, Verstappen comes in, and actually to my surprise, he's going for the aggressive strategy. So he's going for medium, soft, soft, and he's going to rejoin. You can see him on the right-hand side, just in front of us on soft compound tyres. So he's now going to be pretty damn quick. He's going to race after Charles Leclerc, who's 5 seconds up the road. And we're going to see how this all kind of plans out now in the remaining laps of the Grand Prix. We skip onto lap 18. I set a new personal best. And to be fair, these tyres were gradually building up speed. I was getting faster and faster on these. The gap to Sainz and Albon behind 7 and 9 seconds respectively, as we now move on to lap 19. Another personal best. This one a big improvement by 3/10, a really strong lap from us there. And Verstappen, you can see he's behind Leclerc now. He's trying to find a way through, and that was a frustration of him really, because he wasn't able to make the move stick. The Ferrari was too fast on the straights. Verstappen couldn't find a way through. Meanwhile, you can see my control electronics 70% wear. It is absolutely hammered, and I'm rightly so being warned about it on the radio, because it was really going up around here. We've only done 3 races and the engine is really struggling. Either way, lap 26, Verstappen comes in for his second and final stop, once again on another set of soft tyres. So we are going to claim P5 for now with 10 laps to go. Verstappen will rejoin behind us, and let's see what the gap is. It's going to be about 6 seconds, it looks like. So 6 seconds, 10 laps to go. So Verstappen will probably catch us. You can see here now, lap 28, Verstappen is less than 3 seconds behind as he sets a new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And we set a personal best, but he's still 1.5 quicker than us. So Verstappen was really, really fast. You can see now, lap 29, he is 1.5 behind us. I set yet another personal best, but it's pointless because Max is so much quicker. He's still catching us anyway. So here we go then. First of all, lap 30, we've got a little bit of lap traffic here in the form of Nicholas Latifi. Luckily, he gets out of the way, so that's going to hold us up too badly. Tyre wear wise, the front left is starting to struggle. Control electronics is still going up in terms of engine wear. But now on lap 31, we've got the other Williams, George Russell. We get a bit loose out of the final corner there, losing the back end on the curb. Verstappen is right on our gearbox. I don't have any ERS left. Here comes Max. We're going to get boxed in here with the Williams. We just about avoid the contact. We move to the inside, and we're now going to try and go all the way around the outside of turn 1 of Verstappen. We're still hanging in there. Can we stay in front of the Dutchman? Verstappen keeps his nose in, but eventually we just hang on and hold on to P5 for a little bit longer. What a sequence. And this battle with Verstappen now really starting to hot up as we move on to lap 33. Max looking for a way through here, and he just catches me napping into the hairpin. He tries to go down the inside, doesn't quite get the exit though, and once again we stay in front of the Dutchman in his home Grand Prix for now. And this battle still 3 laps to go. It could still happen. Now at the end of the lap, a few corners later, Max again looking for the potential overtake key. He's got DRS on the back straight. I'm running out of ERS again. Max goes to the inside. It's going to be side by side into the chicane, trying to leave a little bit of space for him on the inside there. We're going to go on the inside, and we hold on one more time. It's not over yet. We've now got another DRS zone, and because the two zones are so close together, I've got no ERS to really fight with here on the pit straight. And here comes Max one more time. He's going to use the DRS. Is he going to get close enough into turn 1? I'm already going defensive, but Max isn't quite there, so I'm able to take the racing line and commit to the corner as usual on lap 34. 3 more laps to go then, make it 2.5 as we cut towards the end of the lap. But Max again catches me napping. I run a bit wide with some understeer, and here goes Max now. He's got the run. He's going to get the straight line speed. We're going to try and hang in there, but Max on the brakes is better than us. He locks up though, and there's contact. We get wing damage, and that is not very good for us as it's orange damage with 2 laps to go, and that is going to be it for the battle, unfortunately, because of course with the damage Max just drove away, and I had no fuel ERS left anyways, so all I was doing was just basically nursing the car home and bring it back in one piece and avoid an extra stop. And eventually we got the gap to Sainz up to about 15 seconds. In those last 2 laps he got the gap down to 8.5, so it goes to show how much time we was losing. And yeah, there you go then guys, that is a race here at Zandvoort. But what a performance, the pace was insane, and we finished P6.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
What a great race then, and what a magnificent victory here at the Dutch Grand Prix. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
And here we are looking at the final race results then after that race. Lewis Hamilton picking up the win ahead of Sebastian Vettel, and Valtteri Bottas picking up P3, making it a 1-3 for the Silver Arrows. Charles Leclerc fourth ahead of Max Verstappen, who finished with P5 with the fastest lap. A disappointing race for Max. Both myself and Charles Leclerc held him behind for a long time, and that really frustrated his race, and I think ruined his chances of putting on a show for the home fans. He was the only man in the top 14 at least to go for a 2-stopper, so an aggressive strategy from Max here today. Carlos Sainz P7, Albon P8, Perez 9th, and Norris rounds off the point scorers, with Ricciardo missing out the points along with Stroll, Gasly and Ocon. We then move into the drivers' standings, and we get pushed down to P5 as Leclerc and I believe Vettel and also Bottas overtake us, as we was in 3rd place I believe before that. So yeah, we get pushed down, but still, you know, back down to reality to an extent, but things are still looking very good. Pierre Gasly is still in the top 10 as well, even though he didn't score any points here today. And in terms of the constructors, we are in 4th place, just behind Red Bull, 9 points behind I believe. So we're still well in the mix, and we've got a nice little cushion of 14 points over McLaren. So things are looking very positive indeed as we now head back to the laptop and looking first of all at the driver acclaim. You can see we're now almost level 5, so we're gradually building up on there and getting closer and closer in terms of our goals, and that's going to be one to keep an eye out for, hopefully moving forward. We then move on to the actual R&D stuff, and for this one, guys, of course, we did the engine upgrade at the start of the video, and we're going to throw on an upgrade for the durability because we need to get to that control electronics, which is just above the MGUK one. So we have to purchase this one and then get onto the control electronics to hopefully improve that, because that particular engine part is getting so worn. We're going to have to take a million penalties at this rate if we don't fix that and don't sort it out. Either way, we're going to throw on one more upgrade, and this is for the chassis, and this is the more effective of the two, and hopefully these upgrades will arrive not for the next race but for the Monaco Grand Prix, because there's a very short turnaround until the Spanish Grand Prix. But guys, there's it from me here today for the Dutch Grand Prix, and an incredible race. The car was absolutely fantastic. The grip, the one-lap pace, the race pace, the strategy, it all came together, and you know, I'm really happy to see that work out for us, and once again scoring big points for the 3rd race in succession this season, guys. But that's it from me here today, guys. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop me a like and subscribe if you are new for daily F1 content, whether it be my team or driver career mode or online league racing or any of those, you know, kind of videos or tips and tricks. Then do get subscribed for that, guys, with notifications turned on. And also, guys, on screen right now, if you have missed it, then I've got the previous episode linked along with, you know, a video you might enjoy, so go give it a chance and see what you think. But guys, that's it from me here today, and I'll see you all next time for the next race in Spain. But until then, it's goodbye from me.